So this is Kenny, this is Leslie, and this is Andrew. And
Dr. Barquette.
okay, and then Stacy behind the camera. Okay.
Wait, don't you gotta show yourself? Alright. And the testable question that we chose is, what is the length of the trachea and how does it relate to the airflow into the lungs? And our hypothesis is, if the trachea is longer, then the airflow will be greater into the lungs because of the extra length of trachea lining. This is a specimen. As you guys can see, trachea, lungs.
So we need an apron first, then we need goggles, and then we need our safety belts. And if you have glasses, you can just keep the glasses. Yeah.
Any tools you have must be sanitized, and sharp objects must be held down to ensure safety. And whenever you cut your scalpel, it has to be away from you, not towards you, because that could be a hazard in cutting yourself. And you need to make sure that all your tools are clean. And so, yeah. The specimen is laying supine with the ventral side facing upwards.
So basically, to identify the structures that we have here, we have the right lung and the left lung of the specimen. We have the trachea, the lung globes are right here, and we also have the heart, and that is the specimen sheep book. And now we'll be showing you our measurements of the trachea. So as we start here. And then we're going to be measuring in centimeters. So it starts here. We see that is at 16 centimeters. That's what we have right there. And then now we're going to measure the lung. The right lung, to be exact. So the length of the right lung is at 20 centimeters. So we're going to jot that down. And yeah, how much seconds is that?
As you see, we're cutting into the trachea.
We're performing a lengthwise cut. Now we open it up to further reveal the inside lining of the trachea.
We are now cutting into the right lung.
Is this
The ventrals look cross.
Yeah.
Because I know we can say we're gonna cut.
I'm looking slime the fuck out of this.
Are you serious, bro? We're gonna have to cut that out.
You have to cut that out, Leslie.
As you guys can see, we have dissected the right lung. The little holes represent the alveoli that allow for the bronchi, the bronchioles. As you guys can see, there's pathways. And we're going to perform another cut to further represent the bronchi and how it separates into two. Right here.
Okay, go.
Now we are performing a cross-section cut to further look at the bronchi and how the pathway split into two lungs.
This is the artery that is from the heart that goes into the lungs, and then when the animal breathes in.
As you guys can see, we separate it into the bronchi, and it goes to the left lung and the right lung. And then as we turn it on its side, we are able to witness the lung tissue as well. That's it. Hold up the trachea. So as air enters to the trachea, it goes down into the bronchi and into the bronchioles to split into the left lung and the right lung. Once it is done with that, air goes into the bronchioli, which is represented through these pathways, and into the alveoli to perform gas exchange within the lungs. Now, after gas exchange is released, oxygen is able to go back from the lungs to the body.
Okay, if I cut it off wrong.
What's wrong with this generation, man?
Okay, so there's two structures that prevent backflow, which is
We are now cutting out the heart.
It looks like you're struggling.
From this side. Sorry.
Leslie's performing a mid-sagittal cut, starting from the inferior part of the heart to the superior part of the heart. And as she's doing this, it is going to help us expose the heart chambers to identify and compare. So as you guys can see here, we have the right side of the heart and the left side of the heart. So we start from the right atrium, and once the right atrium fills up, it is going into the tricuspid valve and through the pulmonary artery and the vein, and it's gonna go to the lungs, and then it's gonna go into the left atrium and the left ventricle, and this is the right ventricle over here as well. And as you guys can see, it is separated from deoxygenated blood and oxygenated blood through the septum. And the major blood vessels of this would be the aortic vessels, which are going to be at the top of the heart. Oh, the top of the heart actually, that release blood to the rest of the body. And if we compare the thickness of the walls, we see that this wall is far thicker than this wall over here, because it doesn't need as much space because of the lung size difference. And some structures that prevent backflow would be the septum and the direction in which blood flows, such as the inferior vena cava and the superior vena cava, allowing for the ventricles to fill up first on the right side and provide blood to the left side, leading into oxygenated blood. And yeah. So now we'll be discussing the similarity and the difference between human and sheep anatomy. One similarity would be that both sheep and human hearts have 4 chambers, 2 atria and 2 ventricles, as you guys can see right here. We have the 2 atria, 2 ventricles. They go in order: atria, ventricle, ventricle, right? And this allows us to separate oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. One major difference would be that a sheep's heart is generally smaller and more pointed shape. As you guys can see at the end, it is more pointed in comparison to a human heart. And while a human heart is larger and positioned slightly different in the chest because it's different in body size and posture. So what we learned from this experiment was that sheep plugs, like the heart, lungs, trachea, are used because their anatomy is very similar to the human anatomy. They allow us students to observe real organs, blood vessels, and tissue structures in a safe and cost-effective way, helping us understand how the human cardiovascular and respiratory systems are organized and function. So, after the experiment, we learned that one human error that we made would be the dissection of the heart, because we don't know if we dissected it correctly, and this error could affect results because we don't know how much blood is pumped out through the heart and how much of the deoxygenated blood is carried. And what did we learn, Marquez?
We learned that the
The similarities between the humans.
we learned that the sheep plug is similar to the human plug. Yeah.
Alright, that's it.
Ew.
So, after gathering our results, we have concluded that our results did not support our hypothesis. If the trachea is long, then it has no correlation to the amount of airflow allowing inside the lungs. And we learned that, and also that one connection between the structure and function between the trachea and lungs is just being allowed to carry oxygen out, and as well as carbon dioxide. That's it. Go.
Okay, so we're gonna go dispose this.
She about to fall.
I'm giving the phone like this.
And then where do we put it? We're putting it in the bucket, disposable bucket.
Oh, it smells like ass.
Okay, so we're gonna put it in a different bucket.
Cut it. Cut the video, bro.
And then Leslie's gonna throw this away. Hey guys.
Oh yeah. Don't hurry. Let's see. It's always in the tray.
Cleaning the scalpel.
Okay, so now we're gonna dispose of this.
Cleaning our workspace properly.
Okay.
Properly cleaning our lab station, ensuring that there is no mess left. And our dissection tray. Instructor? I didn't film you, don't worry, miss.
So this is Kenny